Well, good evening, everyone. So good to see you all tonight. Welcome to Courage to Caregivers. My name is Cathy, and we are going to continue with the theme of growth mindset for the month of May. Our topic for tonight is redefining guilt and shame. So guilt and shame are two very real emotions, and we all experience them at one time or another. How do we define guilt? Guilt is a feeling often experienced when we act against our values. And we might observe a little gnawing feeling inside, or maybe just feeling that something's not quite right in our response to something. And that is guilt. Shame, on the other hand, is the feeling that is caused by guilt. These two entities are often very hard to talk about because we fear that we might be criticized or judged. So how does one redefine shame? Well, there's several things that we can do. Number one, just notice. Notice that shame is normal, and it's actually the brain's way of dealing with disconnection. Just notice it for what it is in the moment. Number two, name it. It is an emotion. And when you label it as such, you can put a little distance between yourself and the emotion. I'm here, the emotion's out there. We are not one and the same. So name it as an emotion. You are not your emotions. Number three, replace any judgment with curiosity. In our yoga practice, we might call this observing. Observe how you handle your emotions, both physically and mentally. Do you take those emotions and stuff them way down inside? And so they're way below the surface and you kind of tuck them away to deal with them later. A lot of people do that. That's normal. Or do your emotions just come and knock you down like a big tidal wave? That's normal too. When we learn to observe ourselves, we recognize and accept the way that things are as they are. Number four, acknowledge your inner critic. And we all have that little voice inside of us that is sometimes harsh, sometimes nagging, and always pointing out our flaws. Excuse me. Often, this little voice will amplify our shame. So it's up to us to remind that inner critic that we are a work in progress. Thank you very much. And that we're doing the very best we can each and every day. And number five, practice a little self-compassion. Talk to yourself as you would a dear friend. Choose words that are constructive instead of self-attacking. Choose words that are helpful, not harmful. And be kind to yourself. You know, as caregivers, we're kind to everyone else, especially those that are in our care, but we often don't allow ourselves the same degree of kindness. And that's so hurtful. So we need to learn to be kind to ourselves. Emotions are energy in motion. And it is said that the energy of an emotion will pass through you in 90 seconds. So when it does, take this opportunity to ride the wave of energy and observe it in all of its phases, much like when we ride the wave of the breath in our breathing meditation practice. Remember, you are all beautiful, brave, courageous beings of light, worthy of living your best life. As you learn to process your emotions in a healthy way, you realize that you are bigger than your emotions. That's called growth mindset, and you are working towards that. One day, one moment, one breath at a time. So that's just a little taste of what you'll be discussing in your support group tonight. We're going to segue into our breathing meditation practice. So I invite you all to get nice and comfortable in your chair, maybe shifting your weight from one side to the other to make sure that you're sitting on your chair nice and grounded there, sitting bones firmly on that chair. And then feet connected to the floor. Uncross your legs or anything that might inhibit you from fully being connected here. So feet on the floor. Seat on your chair. Take the shoulders up to the ears and let them softly settle back down so that they're nice and even and that you're not holding any tension there. Place your hands on your thighs or on the knees and find a nice tall spine. And as the body is settling in to this moment, we're going to begin to breathe in and out of the nose, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Just connecting with the natural rhythm of your own breath as it comes and as it goes. Beautiful. Starting to let go of any thoughts that might try to come in. They're always going to be there. Just notice them without judgment and let them float away like a little dandelion puffball on a spring day. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Know that these thoughts do not make up who you are. Good. Continuing to breathe here. We're going to revisit our box breathing, which is the breathing of the month, a simple but powerful breathing technique to reset the breath so it can be used two ways. We can use this breath before we have to do something like perform or encounter a stressful situation if we know it's going to be stressful, or we could reset the breath after a stressful situation with the box breathing. It is often used by Navy SEALs and first responders like firemen and policemen, by teachers, by medical professionals, and even professional athletes. So let's begin to imagine that we are noticing a box-like shape with 4 equal sides. We're going to put a 4 count to this. So we will inhale for 4, exhale for 4, inhale again for 4, and then exhale for 4, so that we are drawing an imaginary box in our mind's eye. So let's take a nice inhale together to the count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4. Good. Let's try that again together. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4. Inhale 2, 3, 4. And exhale 2, 3, 4. I will let you go ahead and continue on. I'm going to do several rounds. I will stop you when I feel like we've practiced that breath enough. But just remember to envision that box with 4 equal sides as you inhale, inhale, and exhale, this image of that box. And go ahead and begin. Beautiful. Now we can stop the box breathing. I invite you to return to the rhythm of your own breath. So just breathing as you normally would. As you remain settled in with eyes closed, and I will read our affirmations for tonight's practice. I witness my thoughts and feelings as if observing puffy white clouds floating through the sky. I may have feelings, but I am not my feelings. I am much more than my emotions. I transform my stories of shame and guilt into strength and resilience. And just let those words settle right into your heart. You are not your emotions. You are strong and resilient. All of those things each and every day in your caregiving journey. Good. I invite you to place one hand over the heart and bring your other hand over that hand so that both hands are holding your heart in a gesture of self-compassion. So this is one little kindness that you could bring to yourself each day, just literally embracing yourself, holding yourself at your heart. And then feeling the breath as you inhale. Feel the hands move away from the heart. Feel your chest expand, the ribs lift as you take in that breath. And as you exhale, feel the hands return to the heart, come back to the body. Feel the breath leave the lungs. Feel the chest fall and the ribs fall. And so this opening and closing, this giving and receiving of the breath, hands at the heart in a gesture of compassion, is just the most beautiful way that you can embrace yourself for who you are in this moment. And you know that it's a simple little thing you can do for yourself whenever you're feeling that inner critic start to berate you and attack you and tell you that you're less than. It's not true. It's not true. So breathe that in and breathe that out, this little gesture of self-compassion just for you. Good. Beautiful. As that feels complete, we're going to release the hands, bring them back down to the knees or the thighs. And we're going to do a little bit of mindful movement tonight in the chair. We're going to stay in the chair. Let's see. So the emotion of shame can affect the body in so many ways. One thing that it does, it affects our foundation, our root chakra. And so this can keep us feeling tense and closed off in the hips and in the pelvis, and can create a lot of tension in the low back and then the feet and the hips. So we want to do what we can to open that up. We're going to do that tonight. And so having your feet flat on the floor here, we're just going to begin rather to start to move the feet up and down as if you're marching, but doing it fast. The feet are close together here, and you're just boom, 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 moving those feet together. And you're tapping, tapping, tapping the feet on the floor. Try to keep that nice tall spine as you do. Good, and then we're going to move the feet out. So making a circle with the feet. So both feet are going one right after the other and going in the opposite direction. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, 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 and then come to a stop. Feel that vibration of that movement. Feel it in the body. Good. Beautiful. Just a little energy in our emotions here. And then We're going to do a couple of seated spinal twists. So finding that tall spine, finding the hands resting lightly on the knees or the thighs. We're just going to take the right hand to the left knee, lift through the crown of the head as we inhale, exhale as we twist over that left shoulder. And so you can breathe here in this nice little twist. Maybe take a moment to think about lengthening the spine again, lengthening through the crown of the head, and then just seeing if you can twist a little bit further. If not, stay right where you are and breathe. Good. Coming back to center. Let's do the same thing on the opposite side, because in yoga, we want to have the body nice and balanced. So we do everything on each side. Let's take that left hand to the right knee. Take the right hand behind you as we lift and lengthen through the crown of the head and twist over that right shoulder. Good. Beautiful. Coming back to center. Let's do that on our own 2 more times on each side, and you can begin anytime. Good. If you finish, just meet me right back in a neutral position. Okay, and now we're going to experiment with a seated pigeon. This is a posture where we leave one foot on the floor. So the knee is bent, one foot on the floor, and then bring the other leg up. We want to take the ankle of the opposite leg and cross it over your knee. So this can feel a little grippy for some people. It's because we have very tight hips, but that's okay. We're going to work on that a little bit tonight. So sitting up nice and tall with the ankle crossed over the opposite knee, you can stay right here, or you could just flex the foot towards you, or maybe press down with that bent knee. Press that knee down to kind of give you a little bit more of a stretch in the piriformis muscle. If that doesn't feel good, then stay right where you are. Another option is to, with a straight back, a nice tall spine, lean forward over that leg, and you get an even more intense stretch. But as I said, honor your body. If that doesn't feel right, then just remain with a nice tall spine. Okay. And then take a moment, close the eyes, and breathe into that stretch, just easing tension, breathing through it. Good. And then release, bringing both feet back to the floor. Let's tap those feet once again. Tap, tap, tap. And now we'll do the same thing on the other side. So bringing one foot off of the floor, bending that knee, bringing that ankle across the opposite knee. Choosing to stay here or taking that hand and pressing down on that knee. Or coming a bit forward with a straight back. Good, beautiful, everyone. And then setting up nice and tall again, releasing that foot to the earth, and then tap, tap, tap once again. Okay, so in addition to shame showing up in the root chakra, sometimes shame shows up in the heart chakra. And because of that, we tend to roll our shoulders forward, hunch the back, maybe head comes down. So in a very protective posture, as if we're protecting our heart from these feelings of shame. It's just our natural human nature to want to do that. So it often results in putting strain in the upper back, and in the shoulders and in the neck. So we're going to do some postures tonight to kind of loosen up those tight areas in the neck and the shoulders. Okay, so starting with some shoulder rolls, we're just going to roll the shoulders up to the ears and then back again. Just notice when you do this, the connection of the shoulder blades as you roll them back. Good. And then the opening as you roll them forward. Beautiful. And if you feel like it, rolling in the opposite direction. Maybe moving your head a little bit from side to side here. And if things feel crunchy and tight, that's perfectly normal. But again, honor your body. We don't want to create any more tension. We want to try to alleviate it. So be very gentle with yourself. Good. And now we're just going to take the head in circles around. Be mindful of your neck. And if there's any tightness, breathe into those areas or keep your circles a bit smaller. Maybe experimenting with going in the opposite direction as well. Good. Beautiful. Getting all the kinks out at the end of the day. Beautiful. And then coming back to a neutral gaze and a neutral spine here. And we're going to begin something called the Kundalini Camel Rider. It's very much like a seated cat-cow where we arch the back on the in-breath and on the exhale, we roll the spine forward. So it's the same type of thing, but we're going to just mobilize the upper body. So just sitting with your feet on the floor, seat on the chair. Once again, check your alignment so that your shoulders are back and your heart is open. Tall spine, little lift through the crown of the head. And we're going to very gently bring the pelvis a little bit forward. So only the pelvis is moving. The upper body is immobilized. So the pelvis moves forward on the in-breath. And then the pelvis moves back as the hips come forward on the out-breath. So you're literally just working this lower part of the body as if you were riding on a camel. Imagine that the rest of your body is nice and tall and the pelvis is going forward and back. So just begin to experiment with those feelings and see what that does in the body. Maybe finding a little bit of ease and fluidity in your hips there. Good. The camel rider. Good. Just remembering as the hips come forward, we're exhaling. As the hips go back, we're inhaling. Good. Beautiful. And then you can stop that movement. Okay, so now I want you to experiment tightening all the muscles in the body. So literally taking your fists, tightening the fist, and tightening the legs as you sit in the chair, tightening your glutes, just tightening everything as if you were just curling into a little ball. So tight, 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 just feel like that feels like in the body. And then release the tension, releasing the arms, the legs, the pelvis, releasing the hands. And then placing your hands on your thighs or on your knees and just feeling what that feels like, that transition from being all tightened up to being open and loose and free. Just observing. We talked a little bit about observing. That's what we do in yoga, observing what our bodily sensations are, as well as our emotions. So just feeling what that feels like. Let's try it again. Tighten up, tighten up, tighten up. Holding it all in. Every muscle in that body is tense and tight. And then release, let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Beautiful. So just noticing the difference between those two polarities, the tenseness and then the openness, the tightness and then the ease. And so these are things that we can do every day to kind of recognize when we're feeling tense and then when we finally let that stress go. So You might find that it's helpful to do that several times during the day just to remind yourself where you want to be and what you might be wanting to let go of. Okay, so let's get ready for the most favorite part of our session each and every time we meet, and that is a time of relaxation and rest. We know that deep rest is one of the main components to having a stress-free life. So it's one of the most wonderful ways to give self-care to yourself when you need it most. So I invite you to find your comforts for tonight. If you need a pillow, a blanket, if you need to lower your lights in your sanctuary there, perhaps you are choosing to use some aromatherapy like essential oils or a candle or some spices in a bowl, or even some fruit that you can, excuse me, cut open and let the scent of that fruit infuse your space there. Excuse me. And then, as always, we offer a Courage to Caregivers playlist that is on Spotify if you'd like to use that for your deep rest, or a playlist perhaps that you've made yourself, or even silence if that is what you are craving tonight. So just go ahead and find those things now and get ready to settle in, whether you're sitting in your chair or lying down on the floor. I invite you to be really, really comfortable. If you're seated in your chair, make sure that everything is nice and cozy. If you're lying on the floor, give yourself all the space you need to do so. And then settling your body in. If you're lying on the floor, connecting to all the parts of the back body, and maybe taking a moment to snuggle your shoulder blades underneath you so that you can make that connection even more present. Bringing your arms down at your sides or resting them on your low belly. Bringing the legs out long. If you're seated in a chair, feeling that connection of your body on the chair. Good. And then, as always, choosing to close the eyes or leaving them at a half gaze. I think for Shavasana, it's always nice to close them. And as we are settling in, I invite you to connect once again with the breath, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. And just feeling on the inhale, feeling that opening, that receiving. On the exhale, feel the letting go and the grounding. We're going to begin a yoga nidra practice tonight where I will bring your attention to various parts of the body one by one. You'll settle your attention there for just a moment, and then we'll move on to the next and the next and the next until the entire body is relaxed, and then you'll rest in silence. So it's helpful to follow the sound of my voice through this process. But if you just want to let go and fall asleep, that's okay too. You won't hurt my feelings. Good. So let's begin at the top of the head. Begin to soften all the muscles in the face. Bringing ease to the jaw, so unclenching the jaw. Releasing any tension in the forehead, in the temples, in the cheeks. Finding a softness behind your eyes. Noticing any shadows of light or dark or colors behind closed eyes. Good. And as the face is now softening, letting all the tension go, let it go, let it go, let it go. And then beginning to move your awareness down into your right shoulder, right upper arm, elbow, forearm, wrist, and hand, the palm of the hand and the back of the hand, and all the fingers of the right hand, the thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and pinky finger. So that from the fingers of the right hand all the way up to the right shoulder, your whole right arm is relaxed. Your whole right arm is completely relaxed. Good. Moving down the right side of the body, the armpit, the ribs, and the waist. And then letting your awareness settle into the right hip, the right thigh, the knee, the shin, the ankle, and the foot, top of the foot and sole of the foot, and all the toes of the right foot, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and baby toe, so that from all the toes of the right foot up to the right hip, your whole right leg is relaxed. Your whole right side is completely and totally relaxed. Breathe into that sensation of relaxation and ease. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Moving now to the left side of the body, let's bring our awareness to the left shoulder, upper arm, elbow, forearm, wrist, hand, palm of the hand, back of the hand, and all the fingers of the left hand, the thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and pinky finger, so that from the fingers of the left hand all the way up to the left shoulder, your whole left arm is relaxed. Your whole left arm is completely relaxed. Moving down the left side of the body, the armpit, the ribs, and the waist. And then bringing your awareness to the left hip, the thigh, the knee, the shin, the ankle, the foot, top of the foot and sole of the foot, and all the toes of the left foot, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and baby toe, so that from the toes of the left foot all the way up to the left hip, your whole left leg is relaxed. Your whole left side is completely and totally relaxed. Breathe into that sensation of relaxation and ease. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Beautiful, everyone. Let's move towards the back body and all parts of the body that are connected with your chair or the floor beneath you. The back of the heels, the calves, and the back of the thighs, the buttocks, the low back, the middle back, the upper back, shoulder blades, the back of the head, Feeling your whole back body, releasing all tension. The whole back body is relaxed. The whole back body is relaxed. Breathe into that sensation of relaxation and ease. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Bringing your awareness now to the front body and all parts of the body that shine towards the stars. The front of the legs, the hips and the pelvis, the low belly, the upper belly, the chest, the ribs, and the heart. Your heart, your generous, caregiving heart. In appreciation for your heart and everything that you do from your heart all day long for the benefit of your loved ones. Your whole front body is relaxed. Your whole front body is completely relaxed. Breathe into that sensation of relaxation and ease. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Your whole body is relaxed. Rest now in silence and stillness. Just rest. Very gently and with great care, begin to bring your awareness back to the body, inviting in a little movement, wiggling fingers and toes, maybe taking a full body stretch in your chair or on the floor, and deepening the breath as you begin to come back to the present moment, taking your time. And I invite you to stay right there as you awaken. I have a closing poem by Mary Oliver. It's called The Journey. And if you're not familiar with her poetry, she's one of my favorites. Poetry is very real and very raw. And yeah, I think most people can kind of relate to what she has to say. So just lay there and listen as you awaken. One day you finally knew what you had to do and began, though the voices around you kept shouting their bad advice, though the whole house began to tremble and you felt the old tug at your ankles. Mend my life, each voice cried, but you didn't stop. You knew what you had to do, though the wind pried with his stiff fingers at the very foundations, though their melancholy was terrible. It was already late enough and a wild night, and the road full of fallen branches and stones. But little by little, as you left their voices behind, the stars began to burn through the sheets of clouds, and there was a new voice which you slowly recognized as your own, that you kept company with as you strode deeper and deeper into the world, determined to do the only thing you could do, determined to save the only life you could save. And then whenever you're ready, rolling to one side, maybe taking a couple breaths there, and eventually pressing yourself back up into a seated position. Good. If everyone is ready, we'll just meet with hands at the heart as we take our gaze down to our fingertips. And once again, feel that rising and falling of the breath, the giving and receiving of the heart. Good. Releasing the hands, bringing arms up overhead, pressing the palms together, exhaling once again, hands to the heart. It was a joy to be with you this evening. And I am so happy to see your faces once again. Thank you so much for being here. Let's all acknowledge the respect and admiration we have for one another by saying our closing word together, namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, everyone. Take good care, and I will see you next week. Thank you so much.
So wonderful to see you, Cathy.